Hey friends, while I was out here in the garage, I realized when I had the SP Concepts. This is the big bore, and then I had the Thunder Max kind of coming at the same time, and I was so excited to get everything installed and to start messing with it. And I'll have another Thunder Max video out soon. I've had problems with it, so hopefully I can get that fixed, and I'll have a lot more Thunder Max videos that I can put up. But I just wanted to talk about how easy this thing was to get installed, and just like a trick. If anybody, I never really saw any videos. There's a couple bolts, particularly the ones that are up here for the header. For the head, it's even hard to see, even trying to get the camera in there, but especially that one that's in the back right there. That thing is a mother to get to, unless you have the right equipment. And so I'm using one of the small ratchets with a long extension, and then just one of these kind of swivel things on there. And then I believe it's a, what is this thing? This is a 1/2 inch. So I just have a 1/2 inch with this swivel piece on here and this long, and so when you do that, it's pretty easy. Like, seriously, all you got to do, see if I can get this back here so I can show, even with one hand. With one hand, I know it's really hard to see, but with one hand I got it on there. and then you can just, you know, start torquing and turning on it. So that part was really easy. It is a 2-in-1, so it does have the two pieces down here. It's a little hot, I was just riding. The other thing I have to do on the back, they got the springs that go back here. Those are a little bit of a pain in the butt, but you just get a pair of pliers and just yank on them, and just be careful, watch where they go, because I shot one of them off. I also put the bunking rear pegs on, and I waited until I had the exhaust off, because you can see there's a bolt down here, and I suppose you could get to it. Could probably come over on this side and get an Allen wrench down in there, but it sure was a lot easier to do it with all that stuff off. And then the other thing you have to do too is it goes behind here, and then you can't see it, but there's a spacer back behind here too. And so the piece for your bag right here, and then there's a bracket that goes in behind that. And so then you have to put all that stuff in together. But all the for this guy here, you get one bracket, and it just goes right here for the SP Concepts. I use a little bit longer screws back here. See if I'll go up this way, show it to you. There you go. So that's what the bracket looks like. Comes with those little tabs in there, and then you just put and I had some other bolts here that were Allen bolts that were a little bit longer. I don't know if you can see it on the inside there, but they stick through. They give you some, they're little black bolts, but they're just not very long, and so they're harder to grab in there. So these were some that I took out from somewhere, and they fit perfectly. But you get this bracket right here, and it actually goes on. I'm not sure what this piece is, part of the transmission, I guess. And then it goes, you can see these two black bolts right here. So they go on right there. So there's your bracket that goes on, and then you put the exhaust on. When you want to take it back off, because of the Thunder Max, I've had to take this thing off a couple different times. And when you want to take it off, you just unbolt everything, and you can just kind of pull it off. Also on this one too, the foot controls have to come off. That's pretty easy. I've got the Green Brothers thing here for the rear brake, and so it's basically this Torx bolt, and then you got two of these Allen bolts that come off. I think these were actually part of these came with the bunking in the front. So these are a little bit longer bolts that go through there. So those have to come off, and then this bolt comes off, and then you take the foot controls off, and then you can get it's easy to get the exhaust off after that. When you put it back on, the easiest way that I found was this one. The rear pipe will come loose of this easier than this one for some reason. For me, yours might be the opposite, but you cannot. At least I wasn't able to get this thing to go back on all together. You almost have to take one of these off to get it back on there again. And so I take this off, take this one off, and then I refit real lightly, put the bolts in up here in the header, at the head of the pipe, and then put the bolts back, you know, on here really lightly so that everything can move around. And then I put this thing in, just get the bolts set up in there, and then put all this stuff together again. And you'll want it when it's set right, you'll see that these little tabs right here will go all the way up against the pipe. And that means basically you can't push it in anymore. And then these things have holes in them on the side, and you just put your spring in there. So that's really it. I mean, it's pretty simple install. Anybody that's just the key is just having the right tools. And I watched a couple of videos of some folks that were doing the exhaust, and obviously when you look at these right here, you can get to these are really easy. You can get to these just straight away. They're really easy to get to. This one back here is a little bit more difficult, but even just using this on all of them, this one these you can get to straight in. You don't have to have this, but it just helps. So you get the smallest, whatever that is. I think these are 1/8 inch. These are 1/8 inch rat, but this is the smallest, you know, one that you can get, and then just that swivel and a 1/2 inch socket on the end, and that'll save you a bunch of grief, folks. So anyway, I just wanted to put that video together for the SP Concepts Big Bore. This thing is awesome. I love it. It sounds great, and I mean, to be honest with you, hooking it up, I mean, and ride it the next time, like, it didn't blow me away in terms of, man, this thing's got more torque or it's got more horsepower or anything. It definitely sounds better stock, just letting it sit and rumble. It's not super loud, but it's just got a really nice note to it, especially when you really dig in. When you really turn the throttle on this thing in any gear, it just really gives you a nice note. So anyway, that's the SP Concepts Big Bore. Pretty easy install, again, if you've got the right tools. Anyway, thanks for watching.